What is on top of the deck? What is on top of the deck? Oh, it's Lightning Helix! Oh my god! Oh my god!
Welcome to Hunt the Week.
Hello everyone and welcome into the show. Welcome on in each and every one of you wonderful Magic players that we have in this league of ours. I welcome you to Hunt the Week, a weekly podcast about Magic, the league we are in, and the people in it. Yep, that's what it is. That's what it's about, I think. Yeah, hey, who am I? I am your host with the most, your Don John DeMarco, your Goku or Go Home. Yes, that's true. I am your guide to the Sealed Arena Gauntlet League, and we are in Dominaria United. Week 1 is coming to an end, and Week 2 is getting ready to go. How did I do? How am I doing? You're so nice to ask every week. You're such a kind person to always ask how I'm doing before telling me how you did. And I appreciate that. It shows, one, that you're humble, and two, that you're just, I don't know, you have respect. You have respect for people in the league. I'm doing pretty good. I went 4-1 this week. I still think my deck is terrible. In fact, I was called out early on by one Andrew Mopu Dofu, who said, "Hey, John, you think your pool's bad? I think my pool's worse. Let's play." And we did. We played. We streamed a game on Friday, and I gave Andrew the old Wing Mantle Chaplain Defender combo. Bada bing, bada boom. And he was right. His deck was worse than mine. But it's probably better now. He's added some packs to it, and I'm sure it's getting better. I still don't think my deck's good, but I have a very focused strategy of, lots of 2-drops and 3-drops, lots of small creatures, and then domain pump spells. Gaia's Revenge. How good is that card? That card has won me so many games. It pumps through combat. It deals lethal damage. It gets out of the way of burn spells. That card has been fantastic for me. I don't think my deck's very good, and I don't know where I go from here. But maybe we can figure out where we all go from here together. Here's the kicker.
I'm a kicker. K-I-C-K-E-R.
That's right, we are talking Dominaria United strategy, and this week we're talking packs. Before we get into packs, let's talk top 8. Right now, our current standing, our current leaders, as I record Thursday at about 8:20 p.m. Emmett, number 1, 5-0. Jeremy E, 5-0. Raphael, 5-0. Justin P, Code Pigeon, 5-0. These are some well-known names, people you've heard of, people that have been in the top before and will be in the top again. Then you have Cody Race. Oh boy, he's coming on later. Oliver F, Nephilim Oil, Jordan M, JM Trom, and Dan A, Beatdownbringer, our only new player in the top 8. But congrats, Dan, making it to the top 8, even in week 1. Something to be proud of. A lot of tough players out there and a lot of tough decks to play against. But let's talk packs. We are talking what kind of pack is good for your deck. And the answer is that there is no wrong answer here. All these packs are good. All these cards can be strong. There's power across all of these sets. There's no AFR bringing this down, right? No Zendikar Resurgent. Is that what that set was? Zendikar Resurgent? Zendikar Divergent? You remember those movies? There's no bad sets, right? All these sets are strong. They all have things to look out for. I think staying all Dom U is a strong thing to do because you can basically play the 5-color Oops All Rares domain deck pretty easily by the end, I imagine, once you get enough multicolored lands. Or maybe you go Vow in mid and try to hit some of these strong rares, these blood tokens. Blood tokens were proven to be very strong in that league because it's something to do with your mana late game. You can always pitch some kind of card, especially a lot of those cards can be cast from the graveyard. And then you got, SNC, the 3-color fixing for your 5-colored deck. If you're already in one of those shards, maybe it makes sense to stay and continue to be the Riveteer you always wanted to be, but you couldn't because we were full. The Riveteers were full up, but now is your chance to be a Riveteer once and for all. And of course, you have Kamigawa, the ninjas bounce back cards to your hand, so many enchantments, so many artifacts, so much built-in synergy. All these cards are going to work with your Dominaria United deck, and the path you follow is up to you. What do you want to play? do you want to play this 5-color domain kicker deck? I think it's great. I think it's going to be a good deck. Or maybe you want to tune your deck down to 2 colors. I see a lot of people doing that already where you see where we're seeing a lot of 3, 4, 5-color decks, and you're seeing people really shape that down to 2 colors quickly to try to get an advantage in all these slow, mana-hungry, intensive decks. So what are you doing? I don't know. Do you have a rare that really won't need zombies? Well, you're probably looking for zombies in mid. Maybe you've got Zur, and you want to build some weird enchantment deck. Well, you go Kamigawa. Maybe you started with some kind of Obscura build, and you just want to pump those colors up, and going SNC is the way you want to do it. Personally, I've only opened 1 pack so far, but it's Dominaria United, and I think I'm sticking with Dominaria, but I'm not sure. I haven't sold to myself yet. Sometimes I see these packs get cracked, and I think, yeah, there's 4 good cards in that pack. I'd love that pack. And sometimes I look at them and I go, I guess I'd take the dual land and maybe that uncommon, maybe. But I'm not set on anything. I'm not sure, and I think that's good. It's good that there's no set pack for you to get, that there is no wrong answer here. Crack the pack you want, build the deck you want, and play the Magic you want to play. Some fun games with some crazy cards across everything in Standard. I'm having a great time so far. I hope you are too. Well, that's our Dominaria talk, but we got to talk Player of the Year. We had a Player of the Year tournament. I was in it. I top 8'd that thing. I'm a 1-time Rookie of the League, Strixhaven. 1-time League winner, Chaos 2. And 1-time made the top 8 for the Player of the Year. But I did not win. I was knocked out in the first round by the one, the only Cody Race, who came on the show this week. Please join me while we enlist.
So we're all dog faces. We're all very, very different. But there is one thing that we all have in common. We were all stupid enough to enlist in the Army.
That's right. I had Cody back on the show, my third 2-time guest. I got to stop getting all these winners on because I interview them halfway through the league, and then they win another league, and then they come on again, and we need some more diversity. So we had Chris York last week. We got Cody this week, both repeat guests. We're going to get some new people on. I promise. I promise we're going to. But this week, I sat down with Cody to talk about Player of the Year from start to finish. Let's listen to that interview now. All right, everyone. Join me as I enlist none other than your Player of the Year, Cody Race. Welcome to the show, Cody.
Hello. Thanks for having me.
I bow in your greatness. The light shines too bright off of you. I'm not worthy to see. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that purple name is not too shabby.
The one and only. They even took it away from Johnny. I thought they might leave him like everybody but once a year you're cut off and the next person's in. Out with the old, in with the new. The only purple name.
It's the Hunger Games out here. Yeah, exactly. I asked Johnny, I'm like, oh, like this is really cool. Like I like the purple. Like, why did you guys choose purple? And he was like, oh, it's like a royalty thing. I was like, oh, interesting. That's pretty cool.
Well, all hail the king. Cody is here, and we're going to talk all about it, Cody. So let's go back. Sealed portion of Player of the Year, and making the mega draft. How was that for you? How were your games? How was your deck?
God, sealed portion was a train wreck for me personally. I remember first of all anybody who was following the Player of the Year thing knew that I only got my deck listed on like the 7th or the 8th, which meant I had 1 or 2 days to play like all 7 of my matches, which is not ideal.
No,
yeah.
No,
so I didn't have any time to practice match, to test out my deck, to see what the other pools were even. Like I had 1 day to do it. I just like threw something together that might get some wins, and I just kind of went off with it. And I mean, my first 4 matches, I think I went 1-3. So I was like already like, all right, I think I messed up here and didn't do super well. I just tried to go with my planeswalkers and like the most powerful stuff my deck had. Sure. And I ended up getting the last 2 wins. The most important one being against, I think, Oscar, which basically I think that that game kind of meant whoever won that game kind of was into the mega draft because the top three were just 5 and 6 wins so far ahead.
Now, Oscar's a Riveteer, so that breaks my heart a little bit to hear you had to knock out Oscar. I was hoping for 3 Riveteers in the mega draft, but it didn't happen. You make the mega draft, and you go into the mega draft, and you seem to have an idea of what you're trying to do when you're drafting. Because we watched through the drafts at the end of the mega draft, and I was there as well. I watched through everybody's draft, and you were onto this Boros aggro pretty much from the start. Why don't you tell us about that?
Yeah, so I looked at I had time to look at the full player of the year, or sorry, the full pool that we were working with, the Tinkerer's Cube. And I was taking a look at it, and I was like, some of these what do you call it? Archetypes look like super weak to me, or like they look like they need a lot of parts to make work. Whereas Boros aggro kind of just felt like, cheap removal is always good. Like aggressive creatures that can also turn into be equipped to other creatures was also good.
Yeah.
And I felt like that was just to carve my way into red or white immediately from before I even started the draft. I even remember the only deck I remember being like, all right, like I'm going to try building all these different decks and prepare for it. And that ended up being like way too much. I gave up on that. But I ended up building, the only one was the red white deck. And I happened to I ranked like the equipment in order. I was like, okay, which ones do I want? Which ones do I think are going to wheel? Like, what's good in my archetype? What's not good in the other ones? Like I was really thinking it through, but I only had time to do it for Boros aggro. And then it happened to be open for me, or I happened to force it, whatever happens. And it just all worked out. And especially getting that mascot exhibition pack 2 or 3 first pick.
Yeah.
That like kind of sealed out the late game for me as well. Like it was really, really a fun deck to work with. And like, I think, I won. The only game that I lost was to Justin, and not being able to find an answer for like his he had like an 8/8 Danitha or Dranitha. I can't remember her name, but she's it was an 8/8 flying vigilance lifelink first strike. I just couldn't get around to it.
And your deck was really fun to watch. It was one of the better SRAM decks I've seen drafted. Because man, in your games you were like, SRAM on turn 2, equipment, draw a card, equipment, draw a card, creature that dies turns into an aura, cast it, draw a card. So while it was an aggro deck, it wasn't that classic like dump your hand, try to squeak out every point of damage. You really had some value engines going in this deck. So it really seemed to hum. It was a nice little engine when it got going.
Yeah. And when I was looking at the archetypes beforehand, it really felt like it was the best kind of power, like for each individual card. Like each kind of card can stand on its own. It didn't have to be super built around. I mean, and then if you got the build around rewards like SRAM or Bruno, or like some of the better artifact cards that I got, like you can really kind of push that archetype to like where I did. And yeah, SRAM on turn 2, I don't think I didn't lose the game with SRAM on turn 2. It's just ridiculous. And I remember,
yeah, it was gross.
like, yeah, and I faced I think I faced multiple SRAMs in the player of the year tournament in the sealed portion, and I remember it just destroying me. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna build around that.
It's your turn now, Cody. Well, you knocked me out in the first round, and I'm not salty about it, Cody. I tip you my cap, I take it off, I give you a tip and a little bit of a bow because I see your greatness. Okay, I just want you to know that.
Thank you.
Well, you're
it.
Hey, you're the champion, the player of the year, you're the king of the castle. Now that you are on top, is there anything that you want the league to know, Cody? This is your time, your soapbox.
Gosh, not really. I mean, I'm just honored to be a part of it, and I appreciate everyone giving me the opportunity to play in the player of the year. I know it was a little dicey because of my schedule, so thank you for just letting me prove that I take what it's got. And I mean, I hope this next season we got some more new players up at the top there, and we have like a fresh player of the year pod. I want to see more new people get up there and challenge the already established players.
Yeah, I love it when a new player comes in and just starts beating everybody, and they're in the top 8, and everyone's kind of thinking like, who's this guy? Who's this person that came up here? You know.
Yeah, I want
Started-
to. Yeah, I think the biggest thing and most important thing in the league is new players, recruitment, and like growing the community. And I just think it's a great idea that they started offering the league committee started offering pro incentives for recruitment.
Yeah.
And I think that we should do more of that because I mean, yeah, definitely just having more people in here to interact with and talk to, I think is awesome. I love the server.
Oh, it's a great community. Let's grow it as much as we can. Now, you've been in a bunch of these leagues, Cody. So I just want to ask you, which one has been your favorite? I know you've been in the last 5 or 6, I'm sure, but which one has been your favorite from the last year?
Yeah, I think this is my 9th or 10th league. It's gotta be my Neon Dynasty Ninja League.
That's what I was going to guess. I was like, it's got to be Kamigawa, right?
I mean, that deck was like, it was unbelievable. I mean, it was just so much fun to pilot. I mean, it felt
What was your streak?
undefeatable.
You had like a
I
17?
think I was on 18 or 19 game
Ugh.
win streak. It was just like ridiculous. I went like
Incredible.
2-3 and then I won like 18. It was like I just don't know what was. I wasn't even like like just like in the LFM channel just playing matches. Just it was something. So someone even challenged me in my final match. I think it was Sawyer. He's like, I built a deck specifically to beat your deck, so let's go. And then I just like crushed him. And I was like, I'm like, you knew exactly what was coming too. And he's like, yeah, I was like play testing against my friend and everything. Like he builds your exact deck to play test against. And I'm like, oh my god, dude.
People go deep, man. People go deep on this server. Spike's gonna spike, and we're all out there trying to win.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, Cody, we've talked about Player of the Year. Let's talk about Dom Yu. You're off to a great start. You're 4-1. So let's get your thoughts on the format. What do you think's going on? How's your deck? How can people maybe perform a little better? Or what's going on with Dom Yu?
So honestly, since I've been so busy, just got back from my vacation and I've been playing the Player of the Year tournament. I literally have not played any Dom Yu on Arena or anything.
It's a good time.
Yeah, I gotta say my best advice is that I just kind of do the same thing I do when I look at any pool when I start a league. And I have goals in the first week or 2 that I want my pool to achieve, that I'm trying to aim for. So a couple things that, just for new players in the league or whatever. I think more lands is better. So I think 24 is a mistake. You don't really want to get land screwed. I think you want to go first week, if you can run 2 colors in 26 lands, I think that's probably the best thing you can do. Maybe splashing 1 or 2 cards. And I know this is like a domain format, but it's so hard to get that consistency that you need. And I think just playing even just vanilla creatures, 5 mana, 5/4, that kind of stuff, it's actually a big game in the early weeks. And as well as stuff that's like card advantage or card filtering, like the looter. I think those are really important in your first couple weeks to run those cards.
I've seen a lot of people done it already by missing a color out because everyone's playing, 3+ colors. It seems like in week 1, not a lot of 2-color decks. And if you get your colors, it's great. But sometimes you're sitting on 4 colors, but you're missing your main, and you're just got a grip full of cards you can't do anything with. And it's not a good time. Not a good time to get mana screwed. So watch out with those decks. I think Cody's right. 2 colors, keep it clean, keep it simple. That way you're not going to beat yourself. Don't beat yourself, right? Don't beat yourself because you don't draw a color because your fixing's not good enough.
Yeah, and then, trying to identify your best colors that are in your pool is really important. I mean, obviously you want to do that, but I think in this kind of league especially, it's important because that can also affect your booster pack choices to increase the kind of synergy in your pool. Like, for instance, if you've got like a good spells pool going, maybe like Crimson Vow or Midnight Hunt might be really good for you because they had some really good spell payoffs at common. Or maybe you just stay Dominaria United and just kind of go more focused with that. And like same with maybe like the red, white, and list deck. I mean, Dominaria United is probably the best set to go with that just to increase, your enlist payoffs, like your multicolor splashes, that kind of stuff. So, I think just identifying as well as which way you want to go with your pool. It's also really important because your booster pack choices, honestly, those are really big game. Those are really important because that's one of the only choices that you have control of really in this league. And I know that I've started leagues often 1-4, 2-3, 0-5, but like the booster packs I get in those losses make my deck stronger in week 2, 3, and 4, and I'm able to make up, the lost time or the lost matches in those weeks because I have a stronger deck and I have like a plan where other people are still trying to figure it out.
I like the format, and I want to see where it goes, and I want to see what people build because there's some cool stuff going on out there.
Yeah, it's refreshing because the last two formats, I mean, if I'm counting Player of the Year specifically,
Sure.
we're so high powered. I just want to get back to dorky creatures in limited again. That's like my jam. I don't like cube. I don't like that kind of stuff. I just like common creatures swinging for 2 damage and finding derpy synergies within a set and casting a spell to give my creature +1/0 and unblockable. Like I love
There
that
you
derpy
go.
stuff. I don't want to draw like 10 cards a turn and have to figure out what my play is like 3 turns in the future. Like
You don't want a hexproof polar bear on your side of the field, Cody? Come on.
no, and give me packs. No silver bullets again, please. This isn't a constructed league.
Well, Cody, thanks for coming on the show. I know I'm gonna be watching how you do. Starting week 1 in 4-1. It's a great start to another league. You're already in for Player of the Year next year because you won this year. Another year for you to build your accolades, Cody, and I'm excited to watch how you do.
Thank you very much, John. It's always a pleasure. And who knows, maybe I'll be on this podcast again soon with another league win.
Hey, you know what? That seems to be the thing. I keep inviting you like people that are real good and then they win. And like, oh, you're the second time guest because all of my guests keep winning.
Yeah.
Well, Cody, I'd say there's a good chance. There's a very good chance of that happening. And I wish you luck out there, my friend.
Thank you. But I got to say, I love variety. So new players, if you're listening to this, pick it up, keep it up. I want to see you guys do well.
Do well. Go after Cody. Take his crown from him, new players. It's the only way you're going to get your name known throughout the server. Be the guy who took down Cody. Oh,
here, you know what? I'll add extra incentive. How about this? Whoever eliminates me this league, who gives me my 11th loss, I'll pay for your next league entry.
Ooh, is that new players only or anybody?
New players only.
New players only. Get your money back. He's going to buy you in. Sounds great. All right, Cody. Thanks for coming on the show and thanks for throwing out an incentive in there. That's fun. Oh boy.
Of course. I love the incentives, so why not throw it out?
All right, take down Cody, win a prize, everybody. We'll be back right after this. Cody's great. Cody's a super nice guy, super interesting guy. I like talking to Cody. He always gives me some really good feedback and ideas for this show when he comes on. He's also he seems like a cool guy, man. Cody went to Burning Man. That's why he was late to Player of the Year. He was at Burning Man. How cool is that? He's like, sorry guys, I'm too busy going to another country to go party for a week. Oh, Cody, stop being so cool, man. I can't keep up with this. It's too hard. I'm just a guy with a podcast. And I'm not burning no man, Cody. I'm burning my man now. And I'm burning it up in my terrible, terrible Naya deck that I'm playing. Ooh. Well, I wish everyone luck this week. I hope your week 1 was good. And if it wasn't, there's still plenty of time to turn it around. Don't worry about that. And if it was good, keep up the pace. That's how you top 8. You go 5-0, you go 4-1. You do well. You continue to do well. And hopefully at the end, you're still alive for the tournament. Well, that's it for the show this week. Until next time, I hope that you get to keep a good 7 and that the shuffler is in your favor. Bye, everybody.
Yeah, well, I was going to actually suggest, do you listen to Lords Unlimited?
So yes, I do.
Well, I know sometimes at the end of their shows, they have like a little blurb where like they start recording early and they have like a little thing where they put it at the end. I thought that was like kind of cute. I don't know if that's a thing, but that would be kind of funny. And then at the very end of the recording and music, then you hear me saying like, are we recording? And then we have like that little silly conversation at the beginning.